97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hello, this is Michael Spedden, and thanks for joining us today on the 97underground.com Michael Spedden Interviews channel here on YouTube. There have been many requests from both listeners and guests for us to make available our artist interviews so they can listen again or share with others. You can find us on YouTube at 97underground Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Not only do I feature artist interviews, I feature songs you forgot you liked, classics that never die, beloved local, regional, up-and-coming, and underground artists. You can listen anytime, anywhere by downloading our free app from 97underground.com. Just do it. And now, today's episode. And folks, welcome to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Today we sat down with Gavin Evick and Gavin Hades from the Gavin Evick Band. They came on to talk about their new song, Young, Wild, and Free, and share some stories about growing up in the music business. Their fathers are both musicians that have performed with Bret Michaels and many other acts over the years, and it was a really nice interview with them and everything. I think you'll enjoy it too. You'll also get to hear their new single, Young, Wild, and Free. So without further ado, remember the Michael Spedden Show, Tuesdays, 4 to 6 p.m. on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Enjoy the interview. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. And we have a very special guest tonight. We have two guys named Gavin. That's a rare thing. That's a rare thing. But we have the Gavin Evick Band, who I saw open up for Zebra, did a fine job down at Tally Ho in Leesburg, Virginia back in September. So joining us tonight, we have Gavin Evick himself and Gavin Hades, who I got to tell you, folks, this is a rising, young, budding guitar player here. A great player, did a heck of a job that night, and band was really sounding good. So welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm excited.
I tell you, that must have been an honor opening for Zebra. You know, I've gotten to know those guys. Again, I've been a fan of theirs for 40 years. And I've had the opportunity to MC for them, both at Tally Ho and then also at Ram's Head, and couldn't be nicer guys. You know, what was your experience like with Zebra? Tell me about that first.
It was cool. I mean, we open up for a lot of cool legacy bands. We've opened up and played with obviously Bret Michaels, Warrant, just all those cool bands. Zebra is one that is probably the most different from the genre that we've done. I mean, they're 80s, but they're not as they're not your Warrants, your Lynch Mobs, your Bret Michaels. So it was
Sure,
cool
right.
seeing them. And we opened for them at the Tally Ho, and it was actually funny. Like, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks before, unless I'm wrong, I'm getting the dates mixed up. But before that, we actually headlined the Tally Ho. So, and it was a day after we headlined the Tally Ho and had a massive crowd there. Then they asked us the day after, "Hey, you want to hop on this bill with us here too?" Because we have such a massive local draw in the Northern Virginia area. So it worked out. They're like, "Hey, let's do this run together. Let's go to Pennsylvania." So it was fun. Well, it was our first time doing a run with the band. If that makes sense. We'll have like some one-offs, but
Sure.
it was almost like a little mini tour, little mini run with them. So it was cool. They were very nice. They were very welcoming, and they're just great. And they're great musicians, especially if you watch them do Stairway to Heaven. Close your eyes. It's fucking Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah, I know. They've always been very close to Zeppelin, and I've been a fan of theirs since the '80s. A number of their songs, especially like "Who's Behind the Door," and there's a bunch of other ones too. You know, Bears. They do have that Zeppelin-y kind of sound to them and everything. Kind of a testament as to how they came up in music.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. But yeah, that was great seeing them do Stairway to Heaven. And I know why they did that night, by the way, too. And we'll elaborate on that off the air. But yeah, that was an interesting story because I was backstage. And, so again, that's a great opportunity, and it's a good thing I think for guys your age to be able to see these acts.
Mhm.
Very legendary, very legendary indeed. So you got to do a bit of a runoff, and I think so you were telling me that you've got some you come from kind of a musical family, I guess, huh? Or at
Both
least
of
your
us do,
father.
yeah.
Yeah.
Both of us do, yeah. I mean, my dad's been Brett Michaels guitar player for like 21 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they in this room is where they work on music together. All the music that they produce it's in
Yeah.
this room I'm sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I'll go on tour with them. You know, when I was younger, I used to go on tour with them a whole lot, and we've done a few shows with Brett and my dad before too.
Mm-hmm.
And Gavin over here, Gavin Hades actually played more shows with my dad and Brett than I have.
Hmm.
Ain't that right, Gav?
Yep.
Something
Yep.
like
So
that.
so tell me about your musical background, other Gavin.
So I mean, basically, so my dad and Gavin's dad are actually very, very good friends, and they have been for 20 plus years. So that's how me and Gavin have kind of grown to know each other, and actually, me joining his band has to do directly with our parents being friends and stuff like that. My dad has been a guitar player since he was, 13, 14 years old. He's always kind of wanted me to follow down that similar path and everything. I was never really into it until about, 10 or 11. Just finally, I didn't get my mom something for Christmas. He said, learn a song on the ukulele. So I did. And after that, it was, this is what I want to do. And I went to guitar, and the rest is kind of history. I fell in love from there.
Well, good, good, good.
Mhm.
And it's great when you have parents to encourage you along the way too. I mean, I'm sure that you had a lot of they looked over your shoulder, I'm sure, but you also heard the good and the bad and the reality of this business, and that it is not an easy business.
No, you want to know my dad's advice to me going into the music industry?
What was that?
It's the number one advice I could give you going into the music industry is don't.
You know something?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
that's not such a bad thing to tell somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess in the time that you've been doing it, you've seen the underside.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you learn something new every day. But even with me growing up on the road and understanding the behind the scenes more so than most young musicians getting into it, I know how much stress it causes. I know how much gray hair it gets you at a young age,
Hmm.
and I know how much goes into it. But even starting the band, I mean, witnessing it and actually being in it and it being your band, you see it more and more how much stress comes
Hmm.
with it, but a lot of really really good comes with it. So it's a risky business, really really risky, but a lot of good comes out of it too.
Yep. It's and there's and I've been in a couple of different genres of entertainment, in my life, not only being a
Mhm.
musician but being an actor.
Mhm.
And it's absolutely brutal. It's
Yeah.
absolutely brutal. And you see the people out there that become famous. I mean, that's like really just like maybe not even the 1%,
It's less than
less,
1%.
and so many people that and there's a lot more people that let on too. This is not their only thing that they're doing. A lot of people are still working jobs,
Hmm.
to make ends meet. They get out there and they play music, but then say, hey, back to the office on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably the hardest thing growing up was
Hmm.
I go out for spring break or a long weekend, with my dad, and we'll go to
Hmm.
like Arizona or we go to Brett's house and hang out and just do all this rock star shit. We'll fly on private jets. We'll do this, that, and then go into class on Monday.
Hmm.
It was
Right.
the worst feeling on the fucking planet.
Oh, I bet, but it's nice to be around it and to be able to have a taste of it and everything, and to have
Yeah,
good contacts as well.
and I'll say this, I wouldn't have it any other way because
Mhm.
it's humbling. It's very humbling to
It
live
is.
both lives. On Saturday, I'm here on a private jet with Brett Michaels flying to California. And then on Monday, I'm sitting in class at 9 a.m.,
Hmm.
doing schoolwork. So it was very, my childhood, I basically it came from all walks of life. It's,
Yeah.
it's no way to explain it. Just then, I definitely
Hmm.
grew up experiencing a lot more things than most kids got to experience
Hmm.
at their age.
Yeah, I understand completely what you're talking about because
Mhm.
we were talking about Gotham earlier.
Yeah.
You know, you were a fan of the show. One day, actually for 2 days in a row, I was in Brooklyn, New York,
Hmm.
and I filmed Gotham. I was at Steiner Studio and I was working with the two main stars of the show, or two of the bigger stars on the show, for 2 whole days.
Hmm.
And then when that filming was over, I drove my rusty pickup truck back to Perryville, Maryland.
Hmm.
And then I was actually the next day, I was part of a children's theater production, Babes in Toyland, that I had done with Baltimore Actors Theater. That was kind of a tradition that we had had for a long time. And then Monday, I was back at work, and this idea of waking up next to your mansion.
Hmm.
And the thing is that there's a lot of people out there that think you're rich just because you have some of these connections too, or you've performed with somebody.
Hmm. Yeah, I've done rich things, but I'm just most certainly not rich.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So that's a big part of I mean, but the thing is that you've really got to enjoy it,
Yeah,
and I'm sure that, you guys are really getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. You guys
yeah.
look like you're really having fun up there at Zebra.
We were. We were. I mean, if you looked at the both of us and we would just look over at each other and just start smiling, we'd push each other in
Mm-hmm.
a playful way. We're just having fun up there. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, soon, we're breaking away from the covers, the more originals we have.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in our set of covers that we do, sometimes we pick our favorite songs, and it's fun, being able to. What did we do that night? Did we do Still the Night that night? No, no, we didn't.
I don't think so because we had Ray on bass.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're blaming him for that shit.
No,
Um,
no, no. He said
boy.
that it wouldn't be ready.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah, but we were just, playing our favorite covers and just having fun up there,
Mm-hmm.
basically just for an hour a night, we feel like real rock stars and we're able to kind of live our dream. So it's just we're having such a fun time when we're on stage. It's not work to us.
I remember some Faster Pussycat.
I don't think we did Faster Pussycat.
I thought you
No,
opened with it, didn't you?
We
no,
opened with "Look What the Cat Dragged In" by Poison.
Poison.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It was Poison. Okay, yeah, I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, we did two Poison songs. We
Yeah.
did Cat Dragon and we did Fallen Angel.
That's right. You did those. You did those. Yeah, I was thinking, I was thinking Faster Pussycat for some reason, but
Yeah.
oh well. I'm old, I'm allowed to slip up once in a while here.
We've played with Faster Pussycat a few times. They're awesome. We love
Hmm.
playing with them. We actually opened up for them at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Oh, is that right? How did that go?
It was cool. I
Mhm.
mean, it, I, I'll let Gavin have this one. I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking, but it was definitely a unique experience. I'll say that. I actually haven't heard Gavin's take on how that trip went.
Yeah, so me and Gavin have the same, kind of ideas when it comes to stuff like this. Obviously it's a absolute dream come true to go and play at the Whiskey and, stand where Eddie Van Halen stood and all those
Mhm.
legendary bands and everything. But, then there's the other professional side of it, if that's what you want to call it, where you play at the Whiskey, they need a band every single minute of whatever show is going
Mhm.
on, unless you're Motley Crue. So, that day, what was it, Gavin? Like six bands or something?
Nine,
Nine?
nine bands.
I don't remember that.
It was
But
nine
we,
bands.
we were sandwiched in the middle of that. So, as much as it was, groundbreaking for us being there and being able to experience that, I think Gavin can agree with this that it was equally just as stressful being there and having to, navigate around all these different obstacles that were being handed to us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you're on and off that stage, man. There's no sound check. There's no line check. Was there a line check? Did you guys get a line check?
No, no,
No.
we walked on the stage. They said, "Hit your guitar, hit." Not even hit the drums. They just
Uh,
said, "Let's go," and then it wasn't even 2 minutes before we were off that stage.
yeah, and it was funny because I was up in the Faster Pussycat dressing room because they were downstairs because they were watching us because they're friends of ours, and they gave me their dressing room to warm up,
Hmm.
right? So I was warming up in their dressing room, and then I heard Gavin playing guitar, and I was all the way upstairs. I'm like, it's 3 minutes until showtime. No, they basically got the band up there and like, okay, your guitar's working, start, go. Right?
Yep.
Isn't that what happened? You guys started, I don't even know if you realized, like 2 or 3 minutes before you were supposed to start.
Yeah.
And you guys were playing the Look What the Cat Dragged In riff for like a minute and a half before I ran on stage. Like,
Wow.
yeah, they are so on and off.
Hmm.
They just and early too. Like if you're there, then you start. You don't wait
Right.
until it's your time. But it was cool, and we ate at the Rainbow Bar and Grill after, and we basically lived the Sunset Strip
Mm.
dream for just the day, except
Minus
for
minus the cocaine.
minus the cocaine and minus the body shot because Gavin wasn't old enough.
Mm. Well, hey, that's the hell because that's what you're going to have to live through because what are you 18, 19,
17.
17?
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh yeah, you're definitely not old enough. And the thing is, it's between well, you're waiting to be 21 takes
Mhm.
about 72 years.
It
Yeah.
does.
Between when
And
you're
then you turn
21 and all of a
21.
sudden you wake up one day and you're
30.
50, that's like 8 minutes. That's how it goes. And
Mhm.
yeah, but hey, getting to experience these clubs and everything.
Mhm.
I've never been to LA. Like whenever, to us going on the road was DC and New York. And
Mhm.
back in those days, there was the old 930 club, the old one, the
Yeah, yeah.
15-minute club. And there was a bunch of ones around Northern Virginia that were good and in Baltimore City,
You ever go to
Hammerjacks.
Jack's?
Jack's, yeah, I remember it. Yeah, I didn't play there, but I did play a couple of other places down that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Jackson
that's
Springfield. Yeah.
in Springfield. That's actually I grew up as a kid in all
Mhm.
those clubs, all the Northern Virginia ones. You got,
Yeah.
the Jacks, then you have Sully's, then you have 930 Club in DC, and you
Hmm.
got like Purple Moose out in Ocean City, Maryland, and all that. That's where I grew up, was all those clubs. So when Kix announced their retirement, we
Hmm.
were actually on the first one of their shows after M3 when they announced their retirement.
Mm.
Um, they had like 8 shows left, and we were on the one of the last few ones, and it was at Manassas, Virginia, and it was a big crowd. It was the biggest crowd we played for at that point, 1,200 people.
Hmm.
Funny, it was actually only 300 tickets sold, and then they announced their retirement, and then it skyrocketed to 1,200.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I remember in the middle announcing that they, acknowledging their retirement and knowing, me seeing Funny Money, Funny Money, right?
Hmm.
Steve and Dean's band. And I was kind of pulling on the heartstrings of these Kicks fans. Like, I was that little kid at Jack's watching Funny Money play this and that. And I was
Hmm.
over here I won, that I was trying to think of ways to win everybody over in that crowd. But it's because it's natural because I did grow up at these clubs as a kid, not sneaking in, but my dad bringing me in, watching Funny Money, Kicks, Evick, all, Jimmy's Chicken Shack, all the local bands,
Right. Right. Right.
you know.
Yep. And that must have been absolutely fascinating. But, well, I mean, it's lucky too that you actually liked because a lot of times, with parents and kids, the kids don't want to do anything, have anything to do with what the parents like.
Hmm.
Like
Well,
it's like an automatic knee jerk reaction. If your parents like it, you think it sucks. But I
what's
think it's
funny is
great.
I didn't want to do it until I was 17 or just turning 18.
Huh?
I
Wow.
in fact, I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I actually wanted to be an actor my whole life, so that's
Yeah.
how me and you were talking about, the Screen Actors Guild and stuff like that. And,
Hmm.
I've done smaller projects before, and then I've done um, all the camps, all the classes, everything you can for, editing, directing, producing, acting. I could tell you how to do anything in movie industry. In fact, if you watch our music video, Young, Wild and Free, it looks like a really high budget real music video. And I did all the editing myself, all the color grading, all the editing. I did it all on this MacBook right here. So I'm
Yep.
very, before music, just into cinematography and acting and all of that, you
Mhm.
know. But then I got into music when I was 17. I just I naturally fell in love with the music.
Well,
And that's
great.
how it happened. My dad didn't force me to play guitar, didn't force me to learn how to sing. I really, it would just be, 16, 17 years old in my Mustang driving around at night playing
Mhm.
fucking Motley Crue or Skid Row and all that. And it just branches out from there.
Mhm. That's
It's natural.
awesome.
I mean, that's when I feel like it works, is
Mm.
when a kid isn't forced to do it, or an industry plant. It's when they naturally fall in love with the music. I mean, same with Gavin.
Right, right,
Hello, Gavin
right.
Hayes.
Well, speaking of young, wild, and free, why don't we give that a spin while we've got you here, huh?
Sure.
Anything else you want to tell us about the song before we put it on?
It was a long time in the making, and it just the music video is my favorite part of it because we shot it in Maryland. We shot it, and I know you know nothing about the video. I'm sure you've never seen it before, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, and we filmed it on. You ever been to Ocean City, Maryland?
Oh, yeah, good Lord,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Hmm.
it was like lightning in a bottle, man. Everything just lined up perfectly. Gavin can attest to this. It just
Hmm.
we didn't have a massive budget, only a few $1,000s.
Oh, that's the way it always is.
And
You know.
yeah, we there were so many things we wanted to do, but we knew we wanted, it to be kind of beachy and have like the Ferris wheel in the background, make it, because it's a
Sure.
summer song. It's a summer American red, white, and blue 4th of July song. You know, at least in my eyes, and it just it took forever, but we found the right cameraman to do this, for the right
Hmm.
price. And we were calling about where we could film and how much we would have to pay for permits and everything for here or there. And we were able to film it literally on the boardwalk of Jolly Rogers amusement park. We filmed it in the amusement park.
Oh, that's great.
It all closed down for us. It was a private, filming in the amusement park at nighttime.
Mm.
And they were gonna have the lights on, which I thought, like, okay, that's a big deal because it's
Hmm.
expensive to turn amusement park lights on. So they turned the lights on for us, so it looked all big, and I'm like, okay, that's it, that's what we have. And then I was able to put my hands on a real stage. So we loaded up a real stage in there,
Hmm.
and we had all these, young friends there. Like, we had all of our friends there. And then not only that, towards the end of the night, while we were still filming, they said we could ride any ride we want. So
Hmm.
we basically had all of our friends there, and we were taking videos of us riding all these rides. It was like a private party, basically. And
Hmm.
we were just filming it, and the biggest thing I tell everybody is there was no acting in this video.
Right,
Everybody
right.
there was just having fun. You think, 20-year-old self having a bunch of friends, all your close best friends there to basically have an amusement park all to yourself.
Hmm.
That's basically what it was. Everybody's smiling about the whole video. We were all there for 8 hours. You would think that everybody would get tired singing the same song for eight
Hmm.
hours in a row. But to that very last second, we were all having the time of our lives just filming that video because it was lightning in a bottle. Everything just kept working out so perfectly in
Hmm.
filming that video. And the video represents the song, well too. The song is about, being young and just kind of having fun and not giving a shit about what, bad shit life throws at you, and just kind of hanging out with your friends and enjoying life. So it complements it perfectly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's give her a spin. This is Young, Wild, and Free by Gavin Evick. what a great song. I really enjoyed that. So Gavin,
Mhm.
tell us where we can find out more about the band, find out where we can get your music, your merch, shows coming up, anything you need to tell us. So go.
Yeah, I mean, you can find us on social media. We have both of our individual pages. I'm just Gavin Evick, and he's just Gavin Hades.
Mm-hmm.
Both of our just names, and we also do have a band page, the Gavin Evick Band.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can just find us on social media. We have a merch website too,
Mm-hmm.
gavinevickband.com. And on social media is where we post all kind of upcoming shows and, any big announcements right now. We actually kind of, um, for the first time in a year and a half, don't have any new shows coming up in the next couple months. So
Okay.
we're taking some time to really, really push out these original songs that we have, and they're coming along
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. I mean, the past year and a half, we've been
Right.
doing our three original songs and lots of covers, and we're taking this time to kind of make the product that we're going to sell. And let me tell you,
Sure.
I know everybody says this like, oh, this song's the one, but we have about four songs that we're working on right now, and
Mm-hmm.
each one of them, the first one, we're like, this is the one, this is the song, until we make the next one come out. And it's like
Right. Right.
each four songs were like, this one's the one. Now it's this one, and this one that we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
People that have heard it, can say that it's something really, really, really special, and we're gonna do it the right way, the
Mm-hmm.
right way. So I'm excited for it. Ain't that right, Gab?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm excited for you on this. And again, everybody's got to kind of take that time to go back to the drawing board and,
Mhm.
just get away from shows for a little bit and get together, have your good meeting of the minds, and really churn out your material. So best of luck with that. And
Yeah,
like
it's
I'd mentioned, come to us anytime, come see us anytime. Whenever you got some good news, we'll be glad to have you on the show to help you tell everybody.
yeah, no, of course. I'm excited. Do you ever go to M3, by the way? Because I see the 97 Underground there all the time.
I've not been there with 97 Underground, but I have been there before I worked here. Yeah.
Yeah, I go to M3 every single year, so I know
Mhm.
I know all the local people there.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, oh, that's just a such a great festival every year, and it's. I'm glad that they're continuing with it. To give some of these bands that I grew up listening to,
mhm.
an opportunity to get out, and then they have people like in your own age group,
Mhm.
that get a chance to hear them and appreciate them. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing that I love about, like people
Hmm.
will, I defend going to that stadium tour with Motley Crue, Poison, Def Leppard.
Hmm.
Everyone's like, oh, why would you go see Motley Crue? Because I've never seen them. I
Right,
wasn't
right.
alive in the 80s, neither was Gavin. I'm like, even if you say what you want about fucking Vince Neil, which I will never talk badly about him,
Hmm.
but you just it it was an experience for people like us, me and Gavin, that didn't grow up in the 80s to see those bands, which I mean,
Exactly.
Poison a
Yeah.
million times, but I
Uh-huh.
mean, to see Motley Crue and Def Leppard, I never got to see either of them.
Right, right. Well, I think it's great that they're out there doing it. And again, I guess I think part of what they're doing is to give us, I kind of
Mhm.
call it the senior circuit sometimes, but it also gives us, a chance to. I
Mhm.
know a number of people that I knew from playing music that are
Mhm.
doing the same thing. They're bringing, their children are, in your age group or a little bit older, and they're
Yeah.
bringing them out to these concerts, and they're all having a good old time together. So,
Yeah. Are you
great.
a 90s guy too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And fucking Creed, man. Creed's back.
Mm-hmm.
We went to go see Creed, and we're gonna go see Creed again in a month.
Oh, good, good,
So
good.
it'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Cool,
Awesome. Well,
man.
folks, we've had Gavin and Gavin here from the Gavin Evick Band. And
Uh,
again, guys, thanks for stopping by. I feel like we've just really scratched the surface and hit the tip of the iceberg. So you got to promise me whenever you got some good news, you're going to
mhm.
call and you're going to come back on the show to, tell everybody what it is. Okay.
Of course, yeah. I got your email, got your contact information. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The 97 Underground stuff. I've been looking forward to doing something with you guys for a long, long time because
Well,
it's like home.
we're glad to make it happen. So, folks, again, we've had the Gavin Evick Band here on the Back of the Rack. We'll be back right after these words. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. Don't go anywhere. And thanks again for listening to 97 Underground, the Michael Spedden interviews, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. Remember, download the free app from 97underground.com so you can listen to us wherever you go. The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Listen anytime, anywhere.
Metal.
Worldwide Metal 24/7. 97underground.com.